In this lesson, lesson 2.3, our essential question is, repeat after me, how do you show a 3-digit number using blocks? So we are going to work on a 3-digit number. We're going to show using blocks. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to open your workbook to page 87. Go ahead and pause the video to do that. All right, I'm going to read to you a problem, and we are going to use base 10 blocks to show what the problem is asking. So the story is, Jack has 12 tens blocks. 12 tens blocks. I'm going to write that up here, 12 tens blocks. How many hundreds and tens does Jack have? So the first thing that we're going to do is you're going to use your base 10 blocks. You're going to use tens because he has 12 tens blocks, and you are going to put them in your work mat. So I'm working from home. I don't have tens blocks at home. So if you happen to be at home watching the video, you can make your very own tens blocks just using paper. And I found some green paper. They're not exactly the same size, but you get the gist. They're about the same size as tens blocks. So I'm going to lay out 12 tens blocks. If you would pause the video and do the same thing. All right, so as you can see, I have laid out, let me get it over here and let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 tens blocks. So the question is, how many hundreds and tens would he have? So let's think back to the last lesson that we had, and we need to think about how many tens there would be in order to make a 100. So if you remember, we know that we need 10 tens to equal 100. So if we look at our blocks and we count off 10 tens, so there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we know that those 10 tens are going to make 100. And I even made 100 blocks so you can see that those make 100. I'm going to leave them right there though. And then you can see that you have 2 extra tens blocks left. So we know that we would have 100 and we would have 2 tens. So let's go ahead now and draw what we just did. So in your book, if you could draw 12 tens, go ahead and pause the video to do that. And I drew mine so that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm actually going to circle those to show that they equal 100. And then I have 11, 12, so I have 2 left over. So as you can see, we have 100 and we have 2 tens. All right? All right, so go ahead and pause the video and get that drawn to show what you did. So next, I want you to look at the math talk at the bottom, and the question is, if Jack has 14 tens, so I'm going to put my 12 tens back down here, and I'm actually going to, there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'm going to separate the 11 and 12. If Jack had 14 tens, so I'm going to add 13, 14, how many hundreds and tens would he have then? Go ahead and pause the video and think about that. All right, so you should know that if Jack has 14 tens, you know that he still has 100, but he has 4 extra tens. All right, go ahead and turn the page. Let's look and see what we're going to do on the next page. Let's look at the model problem up at the top. All right, and on this page, it is giving you the number 348, and it says in the number 348, the 3 is in the hundreds place, the 4 is in the tens place, and the 8 is in the ones place. So just like when we had 2-digit numbers, if it helps you to write the H for hundreds, the T for tens, and the O for ones, as you are working through these problems, feel free to do that so that when you look at a 2-digit number, you will know which digit is in the ones place, the tens place, and the hundreds place. So if we look at the first step, it is asking us to write the number using the number of hundreds, tens, and ones. So we know that in 348, the 3 is in the hundreds place, so we will go ahead and trace that. Go ahead and trace. And that the 4 is in the tens place, so go ahead and trace that. And the 8 is in the ones place. So that is the first way that we can write this 3-digit number, 348. Next, they are asking you to show the number 348 using blocks. So what they have done is, since there are 3 hundreds, we have put 3 hundreds down. We know that there are 4 tens, so we laid 4 tens down. And there are 8 ones, so they laid 8 ones down. And finally, you're going to draw a quick picture to show 348. So again, we know that there are 3 hundreds, so go ahead and trace the 3 hundreds. Pause the video to do that. And then we know that there are 4 tens, so go ahead and trace the 4 tens. And finally, there are 8 ones, so we're going to draw the 8 ones. All right, so in each problem, you are going to show the number that is given. For number 1, the number is 234, so you will show it using your base 10 blocks first. Then you will write how many hundreds, tens, and ones, or you can write how many hundreds, tens, and ones before you show it with blocks. And then you can draw a quick picture. Remember, when we draw hundreds, we don't try to draw all the lines. We just draw squares to draw our hundreds. So go ahead and do questions 1 and 2, and then you may move to the next page and then the following page. And I will be around to check your quick check problems.